Is Monday, September 16th at 6 o'clock, and we're located at the Addison Township Hall. We will now do the pledge, please. Our veteran, Joel, you're our veteran, so we'll let you, because you always do it every time, so. Go, Joel.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing.
Dear Lord, just guide us with your wisdom, and let our decisions be keeping you in mind. In the Lord's name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Could we have roll call, please?
Yes, Mary Frost.
Here.
Karen Geibel. Here. Linda Garrett.
Here.
Ed Brakefield.
Here.
Lori Fisher.
Here.
Bennett present. Supervisor Pearson.
Here, everybody accounted for. Any announcements?
No.
Department reports, as usual, available in my office. Any petitions?
No.
Okay, order of business, and the agenda approval.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll support.
We have a motion and support. Do we have any discussion? Not hearing any. Could we have roll call on that, please?
Yes, Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Linda Garrett.
Yes.
Mary Frost.
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Okay, agenda is approved, and now we'll move on to consent agenda.
Yes, before the board is the approval of the June 17th, 2024 minutes, approval of the June, July, and August 2024 invoices, adoption of the Oakland County National Recovery Month for September 2024, adoption of Oakland County National Suicide Prevention Month for September 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and we have support. Any comments? Not hearing any. Can we have roll call on that, please?
Yes. Mary Frost.
Yes.
Linda Garrett.
Yes.
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, okay. Now we'll move on to item number 2. It's Copper Hill's final site plan, 2125 Lakeville Road. Applicant requests a 3-year phasing approval for the golf simulator and a revision to the landscape plan. Heidi's here, so if you'd like to address it briefly, but we do understand what you're asking for. You want to change the plants because of the deer, they'll eat the plants, and you'd like a 3-year phasing on the golf simulator, and after 3 years, if it isn't built, then you just want to do away with it. Is that correct? Okay. I don't see any issues with the phase or the revised landscape, and everything else remains the same. It's as in the final plan. I think that all you have to do is get us those final documents that we need, and then you're ready to go. Just whatever, I think you had a list of just a few things. You get that, and I think you're ready to go.
Waiting for Matt's review of the,
Okay. Anybody have anything?
We did get a letter from the deer of a complaint. They wanted to keep those trees there. We threw that letter out.
I know, I actually like the arborvitae's, but not the landscaper's like, you don't want those. They're gonna eat them up to here. I was like, oh,
Yeah, we call them deer candy.
I'd like to make a
Yeah.
motion. Is it time?
Yes, go right ahead.
The Township Board has jurisdiction over Copper Hills development as a whole based on the consent judgment entered with Oakland County Circuit Court years ago. The consent judgment continues to control the site development. The role of this Township Board has been consistently confirmed by our Township Attorney. Based on that, our Township ordinances, and this Township Board previous motion to allow phasing, I first move that the Township Board approve the phased approach request for the construction of the golf simulator and limit the final date for completion to 3 years from today's date. If not completed at that time, the golf simulator shall be removed from the site plan by the applicant. Second, I move that the proposed revisions to the landscape plan be approved as consistent with the consent judgment and the Township ordinances. All existing and controlling motions, plan reviews, and outstanding items for final site plan issues identified and detailed by the Township experts shall and do remain in place and controlling on the applicant's site plan approval.
I've got a question on that motion.
Go ahead.
Could I? Your word is about the simulator, that Copper Hills shall not move forward with the simulator. Is that correct?
I first move that the Township Board approve the phased approach request for the construction of the golf simulator, so I'm moving to approve the golf simulator.
Keep going.
And that the limit of the final date for completion to 3 years from today's date, and that's based from Heidi's
That's fine.
letter.
Keep
And
going.
if not completed at that time, the golf simulator shall be removed from site plan by the applicant.
That's what I wanted to know. Now, it's a dead issue after 3 years, right? You're not going to build it, or you want to think about building it sometime in the
Come back
future?
again if you wanted.
Yeah, if I do, I'll come back.
Well,
It's not in
the
the site
reason
plan anymore.
I'm cautious about the word shall is because shall would mean you will remove that golf simulator and it's over, which means you got to bring it all back here again. Now, if you ever decide to do it, I don't know if I like the word shall.
But that's similar to any site plan review. Typically, if they don't come forward, it has to be removed after a certain amount of time because our ordinances could change or the approval process could change. So all she would need to do is come back for a site plan approval just for the golf simulator, nothing else. So if you decide to go forward, hopefully you can do it within 3 years. Great, you don't have to do a whole lot more. But if you don't, then you'll have to come back for a site plan
Okay.
approval for the golf simulator only.
Yeah, in her letter, she says,
Is there a
okay.
chance to extend it for 5 years? Because originally, that's when you guys said phasing, we had said 5 years.
Up to 5 years.
So, but when I talked, we spoke, and you said 3, so if it were 5 would be,
Well, I think that within 3 years, you will know whether or not you want to put that golf simulator, and then you can come back.
from today's date, like I'm not starting construction quite yet, it won't be finished, my construction for probably 9 months.
Typically, we give most applicants 12 months from the date of final construction, so that's why I think the 3 years fits in very well, because by the time you finish your construction, it would actually fit in with all the other site plans that we always do for phases, like, I'm trying to think of his name. The storage facility, he had 12 months from the final approval of phase 1 to start phase 2, which similar to yours, so, but we're wording it differently because of the consent, and also that gives you 3 years to start it and finish it.
Does she
After,
have to, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, finishing it versus starting it within 3 years to begin it, does it have to be completed? Because normally I would think that once you obtain a building permit prior to the site plan expiration, or in this case that, so as long as you start it within that and then, process with the building permit, I think it would be within.
So that came up in the letter, if it is not going to be built within 3 years, we will not build at all. So, yes, I agree. If she pulls a building permit and it happens to go over 3, nobody's gonna do anything.
That's
But
not really
still.
what your motion reads, though.
But the motion.
So the motion stays, because it
The
matches
motion
the letter.
stays because shall be removed from the site plan by the applicant. So if she's still under construction, nobody's gonna have her remove it. She's still been approved.
And I'll second that motion.
But yeah, if she's not started anything, it
Okay,
needs
I
to
thought
be
I heard in
finished.
your motion, I thought that it said it needed to be complete within the 3
Correct.
years.
It does. It needs to be completed in 3 years.
So she can't pull a building permit for it,
After 3 years.
After 3
Till after
years.
3.
but she can pull a building permit in 3 years and she'll, okay.
That would be processing.
Okay.
for-
That matches her letter.
Matches the letter to the T. I
So-
mean,
So
So
then,
you have 3 years, okay? And after 3, at the very end, if you want to build it at 2 years and 11 months, pull a permit that you want to build it, okay?
For further clarity, when you say remove from the site plan, does that mean she needs to give us a revised site plan for our records?
not for everybody, but it would have to be for the township records because we're not going to be here forever. So if somebody comes in 10 years from now and they're going to look and it's not going to match. So yes, you would have to submit a revised site plan showing that removed, but it wouldn't be going, you wouldn't have to submit all of those plans. It would just be to the township.
And the ones that I submit after this meeting, do you want it to be dashed around there? As
I believe Matt and the planner gave you specific instructions as far as what they wanted on the revised site plan, so we'll need 3 copies, and then you're gonna need 1 sent electronically, because they all review electronically as well. So go through your notes, and it's right in there what they want on the revised site plans.
So it's right on there what they want on, for the simulator building? Like,
I don't have that information, but they were very specific with what you needed to do for the final site plan. And if you have questions, just give me a call tomorrow.
Okay, so we had a motion and we have support. Do we have any other comments? Not hearing, can we have roll call, please?
Karen Geibel.
yes.
Linda Garrett.
Yes.
Mary Frost.
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Start building, get all that stuff to us, and we're looking forward to seeing some improvements there.
And hear from out of town, because she's leaving tomorrow, and for that.
Okay.
I just wanted to say how beautiful the prayer and the pledge was.
Oh, good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, where are you from?
I live in Bellingham, Washington now, but we've been friends since we were
Oh, in Washington.
Hawaii, 1995, when the golf course started.
Very good. Okay, you're all set then. All you gotta do is get that into us and you can, you can start. You have beautiful weather so far, so. Yeah, at least get the footings in and everything, you know?
But I still have to get the bond from Matt's. Matt has to get that back to me.
Yeah, that's on that paperwork. Just follow what they gave you the list of what they need and all you gotta do is follow that list.
No, this was new. I resubmitted it. Like,
He got another one on Thursday, so he's still reviewing.
yep. Okay.
Okay, you're all set then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay, goodbye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, item number 3, the resignation of our building. Randy, I think y'all have a copy of his resignation in there. I think he would like to just spend some more time with his grandkids and everything, and I would like to thank him for his service. And he was here for a couple of years. He's almost as old as me, and he decided that he wanted to spend a little more time. He's got several other jobs in between, I guess, the golfing, the horseshoes, the bowling,
Other jobs.
the different things. I think he's decided that he still works for a couple other communities. So I think we just would like to thank him for his service to us. So anyway, so all those in favor of accepting his resignation, please say yay or nay. Yay?
Yeah.
Say aye. Yay.
With regret.
Anybody want to say no? I would like, just keep him, but it's not our doing. So it's his letter of resignation. So that's accepted then. Okay, now we'll go on to authorization to hire construction code authority with the township legal approval of the agreement. Well, first of all, I contacted this firm. We need to give our residents some inspections right away, okay? The notice doesn't give us much time to advertise, seek replacement. This firm, I went up and met with them. I've had good reviews of them. I suggest that we hire them in an emergency and temporary situation for the building official. And once I have the details, I'll bring it back to the board, what direction that we should take. If we decide to go with this firm, I'll ask Bob Davis, our attorney, to use our previous agreement to move forward with the firm on a temporary emergency basis. I'll propose the rates, if they remain the same or lower, I'll bring that back to the board to see if we want to approve them or not. So my thing is, what's your pleasure as of right now on a temporary basis?
What is temporary?
Well, until we can either find somebody else, or what I'd like to do is have them come down and meet with myself and the clerk and with Jamie, who handles most of this stuff, and see first of all, and with Bob Davis, to see first of all if they can handle what we need here. Now, I did go up and meet with them, and they did say they can do it a la carte. That means that we only we can pick different areas and they'll fill in those particular, we don't have to buy the whole package. They'll just do the building official and the inspections. We have a great electrician for an inspector, we have great plumbing, and we have great mechanical. And they said, not a problem, you can keep those, okay, they're all local.
Plan review,
The
zoning.
plan review, when it comes to the zoning compliant, we'll send that to the planner right now, and then that's what we have to discuss if he'll sign off on that, once the planner's reviewed it. So, generally, they explained to me that they don't do the zoning compliance, but if we have it, they usually send it to their planners too, and then it comes back to them. That's something that we need to
That's a la carte.
work out, yep.
What about ordinance enforcement?
Well, ordinance enforcement, that's another thing. They do handle certain things. You know, when it comes to building, if it's a building that somebody's putting up illegal or whatever, they do handle all of that. When we're talking about grass and stuff like that, well, we have our own ordinance officer. So these are things that I'd like to work out and bring back to the board, and if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, I'll tell you right now, it's very hard to find a building official. They're all retired. They're gone. Nobody wants to take on anymore. I've asked. I've gone around and asked if somebody would step up to the plate. You know, and who knows, maybe we'll find somebody that will too, but if you guys have any suggestions?
Linda, I think emergency, we have to consider it as an emergency because we only have 4 or 5 days. But as far as what is temporary hire, I do need a number, and I don't know if Bruce is comfortable either 90 days or 120 days as a temporary hire. I'm hoping that we can arrange a meeting with this gentleman sooner than later so that we can find out if he's going to work and then come up with an agreement, and in that agreement, what's the board comfortable with, 90 days or 120 as temp?
I would like to ask one more question of this group. I noticed when I was on their website, they had multiple inspectors. Can we request that we have the same inspector for our jobs?
Well, I went up and I talked to Lonnie is the main building official, and Mike does the inspections, and he does them all. So we would get Mike, okay?
As long
And
as
I
it's
went
the
up and I met with all of them. I mean, I was impressed with their facilities and how they're doing everything, okay? They have a nice office up in Lapeer, and when I met with them up there, they have some ladies that have been there with them for 35 years that handle all the desks and all the phone information, and our residents can do everything by email, or we can send it up by email to them. And then they do come down, they handle Dryden, they handle all of this area in Lapeer except for Metamora. They also handle everything over Romeo area, and they handle St. Clair County also. So they're very well versed, but that's why I look at it as zoning compliant, because everybody's zoning is different. That will go to our planner and then to them. That's how I'm looking at it. And then they would then sign off on it, but they're not gonna do the zoning compliance for us.
So put me down for 6 months.
6 months is temporary? Do
Yeah.
we want in this temporary agreement that we have the same inspector included or no?
I mean, as reasonably possible. I mean, sometimes people go on vacation, but I just think that if somebody's inspecting, they find a violation, the same guy should be going back and not.
Well, the only, the only inspector they're gonna send down is, like for a house, he explained to me, they do six inspections on a new build. We would still have our own electrical, plumbing, and mechanical. So they do 6 inspections, and how they bill is $81 an inspection. So, that's generally it. And then most of the other things, they said they don't usually charge for if there happens to be something somebody has to come down for. Yes,
What's the plan, presuming we have a temporary fix here, what's the plan in the temporary time frame to get somebody permanent? Is there a policy on posting for the position, or like, what are we doing?
well,
If they're an employee, it would be posted, but I think this is going to be a contractor. So I'm wondering the same.
Well,
Because I think it's gonna be- Pardon?
Randy wasn't an employee, he was.
Randy was an employee. This firm is Construction Code Authority. I have a feeling it's going to be as an independent contractor, but then again, I have not talked to this man. I have no clue yet, so I'm just guessing.
I guess that's not, my question is.
If
how are
he's
we-
an
how are we-
employee, it would be posted. If
How are
he's-
we, I guess my question is, how are we going to get a permanent building official back in place?
well, we can ask. I mean, I'm asking. I've met with a couple, and they're not a good fit. I've been asking. I asked all over. I had a supervisors meeting today, and everybody's in the same boat. You know, they're just not available.
So would we post for a
It
position?
would come back to the board, depending upon how these guys are, I would imagine the board has to approve the permanent full-time or permanent building official. So he's just asking for this emergency type situation.
Right, I understand that.
Okay,
Maybe you guys are missing what I'm saying.
Can we
No.
post it on Michigan Municipal League?
if the board decides to post, if they're an employee, which I don't know yet, it would be posted within Addison Township, or we could post through MML. If it's an independent contractor, then we would go through our policy and determine whether or not we want to do an RFP for a company type, or it could be an employee, a new employee. So we're not there yet.
Right, but if Randy was an employee, why are we going to a company and now we have to ask what we're gonna do in the future? Why wouldn't we just?
Because this is the same problem we have. They come for a year and then they leave, or they come for 2 years and they leave. They're all retirees. They don't want to work full-time, and they don't want to work forever. Whereas, do we want to solve our problem so that we don't have these turnovers, and we get a company that contracts that will always provide somebody who has been in business for 40-some years?
I'm not opposed to that, but I feel like every time we get a new position that's open here, it's always like, well, let's just get this person in because we know them, or let's just get this temporary fix and then they're gonna be the permanent. It's like, do we have a policy on replacing the assessor and the building official? And, I mean, maybe it's
Well, the last time we put out for a building official, we didn't get anybody. I mean, but we can certainly put it out in all the trade things and pay for that.
And that was a couple years ago when Randy was working for us.
No, Randy worked in the next community, and he was filling in here, and then he came into the spot when our last one left.
Well, I think it wouldn't hurt to put an ad in MML and just, because you never know who's going to look on
We can
and
look.
see it. And, you know,
I agree.
nobody
And-
may apply, but maybe somebody will apply.
And if you guys have a person in mind, please send them my way. I'd love to talk to them. I've already met with a couple people, and they were not good fits. I mean, the people that I'm getting they wanna build up Addison Township, you know, where's your Walmart, and where's your Myers, and I'm just saying that's not a fit for, you know, be careful what we wish for. So,
Oh, MML?
we can put it in the Oxford Leader, you know, whatever, I mean, I'll put it in everything.
I don't
know?
think that's necessary. I think we should put it where building officials might actually see it. And I don't think they're necessarily reading the Oxford Leader.
You know, be really surprised if we get any.
Well, we might not, but I think that there should be an established process when we hire people or we have an open position. I think that we have a duty to not just talk to people, but put it where people looking for jobs might see it.
I've met with people, and I've
There's-
been buying them lunch, trying to see if they're a fit for us, and
Well,
they're
feel free
not.
to bring
so.
them in and maybe let a few people talk to them too.
Well, other than
There's
that,
also, I'm sorry.
I was gonna suggest the Semboya, advertising on Semboya, Southeastern Michigan Building Official.
There are also, and I like that this company is in Lapeer, because I think that, you know, these are very regional issues, but there are a couple other companies that provide consulting type services for building officials and inspections. I don't know if any other surrounding communities use those, but that might be just for comparison purposes to make sure that we're getting a good deal.
So I'm going to do I'm going to do one motion. Somebody else can do the second motion. Motion to hire Construction Code Authority as an emergency hire and temporary hire with Addison Township legal approval of the agreement for up to 6 months. And the supervisor is to request from this company the same building inspector for most inspections.
And then are we gonna put in there anything that will then advertise
I
also?
was doing two motions. I want to get this
Okay.
off center.
I'll
So there's
second-
my first motion.
I'll second your motion.
Okay.
Okay, then, any discussion on that motion? Then can we have roll call on that one then? Or do you just want yay or nay?
Mary Frost.
Yay.
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Linda Garrick.
Yes.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes.
My second motion, feel free to jump in. I'm not going to be able to do this until after November, I'm just saying. So the second motion would be to authorize the supervisor to advertise the position and the job specifications with MML and
Samboya.
Samboya. And meeting up with and try to meet up with the 6-month deadline.
I'll support that.
Okay, so we have a motion, and now we have support. Anybody have any discussion on that? Okay, roll call, please.
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Mary Frost. Yes. Linda Garrick.
Yes.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes.
I guess
Okay,
one other thing to do would be to find out what other companies are charging for this contracting of our building department or subcontracting. I know Safe Build is a big company. I'm not sure if they're still operating. I know they were doing all of Troy and now they're not anymore, but just curious to see what they would charge for inspections as a comparison to what we're looking at.
This, how do I put this? I get, you know, you might be able to get a lot of people that are handling in the big cities. Not saying that I'm afraid of that, but this company is handling all of the townships to the north of us. But a lot of them have the same views and zoning that we have. That's what I was interested in, is keeping, if we're a rural oasis, I was trying to say that they have the same aspirations in their communities, and that's what they're using, okay? So,
So I am, as you know, work in the building department in a community. And I have people that come from up north and they hand me a piece of paper, pretty much a napkin with a picture of a building. And they're like, this is all I need. And I'm like, well, where's your footing? How you doing your framing? What's your roof structure? And they're like, well, this is all I've ever had. Been doing this for 30 years. I mean, where do you build?
I
So I
agree
don't
with
think
you.
we're anywhere near that, but I just, I still
no, this
hesitate
is-
to,
This is a professional company up here. I mean, and by all means, I would say if anybody was interested, go up there and visit him. I'm sure that he would give you the tour, just like he did for me. I mean, it's not, you know, a fly-by-night company. I'm just saying that the communities that they're representing right now are like Addison Township. That's all I'm trying to say.
I don't think Romeo is, but
Pardon?
I said, I'm not sure Romeo is, but Did you say Romeo was one?
Well,
Maybe most of them.
they're doing the townships, not this, you know. But anyways, okay, we'll move on then. Let's go on to master plan, item number 5. You know, the master plan was approved by the board in 2023. We then hired a new planner, and I guess we asked him for his estimate to update the plan. I think the fee is shy of $29,000 for an update. I'm not real happy about that, but I'd like the board to table this until we have time to check with other communities and see what they've paid, or allow the clerk after the election to issue a RFP and see if anyone issues a written estimate that might be better.
Is that a motion?
I would rather not do an RFP because it is our planner and the odds of somebody responding are slim to nil, just like when I advertise for a planner. I'd rather you go ahead and do a cost comparison with other communities to see what they paid, to see if it's in the ballpark.
I'm okay with that one. Is that your motion?
I'll make a motion, as you stated, have the supervisor do cost comparisons.
I'll second.
Any discussion? We have a motion and we have a second. Can we have roll call, please?
Mary Frost,
Yes.
Karen Guyval, Linda Garrick,
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Lori Fisher,
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Public forum. Anybody in the public would like to speak?
Thank you.
Turn the mic on for you. Nobody? Okay. Let's go to Addison Township Board reports. Anybody on a board have anything? I have a question. What are we doing on Phragmites now? Did we get the park sprayed?
SISMA moved to quarterly scheduling, apparently. I had requested information and I didn't get any, and I did notice that their Phragmites are growing like crazy back in the park. So I guess Mike will hop on that and see what he can
What
get
about on
accomplished.
the road commission?
I don't work with the road commission.
Pardon?
I don't work with the road commission.
No, they have the grant and they do the Phragmites on the side of the road.
I've
That's part of
never,
the grant
well-
at SISMA.
I've never worked with the road commission though.
Is that
No, I went to the hazmat, meeting. When was that? That was last week, month, and, they're hot on trying to get our, trucks going, and they're really hard on, recycling. And they would like everybody to start recycling, but I'm not sure how Addison would do that, besides just what we do now, curbside. So,
How do they want us to recycle?
they didn't say, but that you can go to a lot of different meetings if you want to, which I couldn't.
Well,
The next one, and they said that, the last amendment was dissolved in 2014, and they think we need to get busy doing something that's more workable for everybody.
well, I was at the OCATS meeting today, and, everybody has had all these different issues with the single hauler. Priority now is in Commerce Township, they've pretty much settled down and they're now doing their job. They said
Which
they
they
were
do in
getting.
Addison, my thing is still out by the road.
Yeah, well, that is one of the big issues.
Yeah,
If you contract as a community, then you have some clout. If you contract individually, it's an individual thing, and of course, nobody has any clout as an individual. They just tell you pick a different carrier or whatever. The other communities were saying that everything is kind of settled down now. They've gotten their trucks all back operating. When they took over from GFL, of course, they claimed that the trucks were in disrepair and sabotaged, and different things like that. They now say that they were receiving 30 to 50 calls a day. In Commerce Township now, they receive 3 calls a day. So it sounds like they're starting to get their act together. Yeah, they do Orion. I think it's settled down in Orion now also. That's, we have how many different garbage companies in this township?
Quite a
And,
few.
right, and some of them were picking up the garbage regularly, even during all this problem. And then, of course, when GFL kind of folded up and sold a priority, well, there were a good third of our community who was using them, and of course, they dropped the ball and nobody got their garbage picked up. So what's, I listened to all these other supervisors, and of course, Oxford right now is going, they're gonna put that, I believe, on the ballot for a single hauler. And there's a lot of people that, voice their opinion that they don't want it, and then there are a lot of people that do want it. The last time we tried it here, as you remember, the letter went out from our one hauler, and all those people didn't want to lose their particular carrier, so they showed up at the meeting and they were against a single hauler. You're talking about recycling? That they don't offer recycling. Now, if you have a single hauler, they do offer recycling. So you have to put that in the contract. These other communities have recycling. I know for a fact that it will be much cheaper for everybody in the community to go with a one hauler, and you would get the recycling. But you're gonna have opposition, okay? And it's gonna take a lot of fortitude to get an ordinance through or whatever for a single hauler. And are we prepared for that? Or are we willing to let everybody have the carrier they're wanting, 6 garbage trucks a week going through our town
In our roads.
and correct, and burning up all that fuel and destroying the roads? And I mean, that's what Oxford is doing right now. So I got my ear to the ground in Oxford, and let's trying to see how they survive on this, because there were a lot of people that didn't get reelected in different communities because they support a one carrier. And a lot of people were adamant that they want to pick their own garbage man. They want to give him that 6-pack of beer at Christmas, and they are adamant about it. So, I mean, we have to decide as a community, do we want to limit how many trucks come through our town, and do we want a one hauler, and do we want recycling? I mean, I don't know what else.
The meeting I went to, they called the Oakland County Municipality, and they said they have the money to do the recycling. It's grants, and SEMCOG is actually working on that. So we've got people working on it. We're just kind of out here by ourselves at this point.
And the problem is, where do you put, the recycling center at? And who's
Right
gonna
now,
maintain it?
you can
And-
go to see one over in Garfield. They have it open for the public at this point. But these are all things that we just need to realize we need to find some, different kinds of things, how to do it, how to work with it.
I think it's a great thing to recycle. I think it would be wonderful to have recycling and a garbage company that would pick up your recyclable.
Yes, and take it over to Garfield or wherever.
I think it's a great thing, but if you have individual contracts for individual people, you're not getting recycling out here, I don't
Right.
believe. You get
Just
recycling.
recycle.
So, but
you're satisfied?
one third of our township uses one that doesn't recycle. So,
I love it.
well, bring it all to Pauline's house, she'll put it in the recycle bin.
I don't think that'll work either.
Anyways,
I just wanted to bring it to people's attention.
okay,
Thanks for going
anything,
to the meeting, Mary.
You're welcome.
And another,
Yeah, we're working on the trail, on Pollyant Trail. We've ordered 50 tons of grading material, and they are grading the trail, and hopefully it'll be real good. That's a summer project. It's not something that's going to happen right now. As far as NODA is concerned, we are working on the budget, and we should be doing that this coming week.
okay, anybody else?
Well, planning commission met, last week and we were talking or learning more about these, solar farms that the state wants us to have.
They are huge, aren't they? So,
Just go down 69, you can see them.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, now the state basically, has a law that everyone has to have them, so.
okay, we'll move on to legal reports then, none? Okay, and then we'll go on to supervisor's report. I just have a couple of things. I think everybody saw that there was a letter of resignation from the planning commission from Gene Lord. I would just like to thank him as much as I could possibly thank him. He's been a great asset to Addison Township for many, many, many years. And he's done an awful lot of volunteer work. I'd like to have him come back, and we'd like to give him a certificate of appreciation from the township. We're really gonna miss him. He has so much knowledge. Between Lawrence Smith and Gene, they were just a vast, they're an encyclopedia, okay? And I know time moves on, but I will thank him, and he just wants to, once again, spend more time with his family, and I understand that. He's older than me, so I understand
I know by
that.
how much.
So, but, and I'd like to thank Randy for all he's done for the township here, and I appreciate that he's stepped up to the plate as a building official, and I wish him the very best in his endeavors. I did meet with the road commission. I've been out with the superintendent and the foreman on different projects. Matter of fact, I got them, the superintendent even brought his chainsaw and started cutting trees back while I was with them, because what's happening is our umbrella is coming over on all the roads. And I think it's due to this Japanese vine climbing plant, and it's pulling the trees down, and so the roads are caving in. And they said they're gonna try to come up with something where they can do a vertical cut on these roads, because they're actually closing in where you can't get two cars to pass. But anyways, the superintendent and the foreman, we were all out there checking on the roads, but as a whole, the roads are in pretty good shape, but we've had good weather also. So, and I am working on an SAD to pave Peninsula now. I think we've got most of our issues taken care of there. And hopefully we'll have an SAD there, and that would be a great asset, because once again, the gravel and the chloride is all pouring into the lake, and there's no way of stopping it. Everything flows towards the lake, so if we can direct it to a spillway and have it clean water going in the lake, that'll be an asset to everybody. So that I'm working on now. I've met several times out with the residents, and I think we might have things all settled on that now. So, but that won't be done until next year, but they might be able to get the SADs done and then do some of the spillways before they pave, before winter anyhow. So other than that, I don't think I have anything else, so I would ask for a motion of adjournment,
I'll make that motion.
and we have support. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I
Okay, we are adjourned, and next meeting is October 21st.